Good afternoon, boys and girls, ladies and gents. This is Genvièv, tuning in live from Genvièv TV and Facebook Live today. Just to give you a brief update, and my apologies for vanishing from social medias. For the last month, it's been a very rough ride for me. In November and all coming to the surgery that I was in on just these last few days. That was a little bit more complicated than I expected. And I just wanted to tune in with all of you to let you know that I'm still here, and I will resume my YouTube channel, continue series, educational films in the new year. For all of you, we have, hello Misael, we have lots of new topics coming up, and just wanted to catch up and thank all of you for all of your kind messages from all over the world worrying about my safety and my wellness. It's, you know, those of us who uplift, whose career and life mission is basically to be here for all of you and support you and uplift you and give you strength and power and courage in your difficult times. A lot of times those who are on the outside expect us to have an absolute perfect and glitch-free life. And it's actually the exact opposite. Those of us who are in the field of supporting others are those who have experienced the deepest adversity, and that's what gives us that is what gave us the resiliency and the tools and the knowledge and the comprehension on how to push yourself back up when you've been literally obliterated. And it's not once you get back up, it's Colombo, hello. It's not a passport to a life free of glitches. And a lot of time, you know, us who are motivators and inspirators, and we tend to be held to very high expectations from especially our those who enter our life after they've got to know us from our career, and expect us to always be there. Aaron, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're joining in just before your trip, you see. So I'm going live even though I was with general anesthesia last week with a very complex procedure that I was so lucky to have a magnificent surgical team, medical team as always, magnificent surgeon, very knowledgeable. And that doesn't mean that everything's going to go well, because some procedures are more difficult than others. And so in my case, we had a phenomenal, very, very good procedure, and then some surprising, pretty harsh side effects after the fact. So I still wanted to go live to thank everybody, wish all of you a very Merry Christmas, and let you know that I haven't disappeared forever. I'm still here. November was hard, as you know. First, my vehicle was attacked and vandalized, with my tires being slashed with an ice pick. And I put myself back up and I coordinated the whole thing. And then some events were even more difficult in November. It hit me back to back. One of my beloved pets, who I had cared for over 20 years, was brutally murdered as I had just stepped out for a few hours in my protected and fenced and locked back deck. That really put me down, because, you know, 20 years is more than a child usually spends with their parents, and he was to be with me for a lot longer. So that was very, very challenging. And then back to back, so the tires first, my pet second, my child basically. And then somebody who I had helped attempted to, after telling me that I had saved their lives and transformed the goals that they wished they had been able to achieve for years and years and years and decades, and were finally able to attain with our work together, turned around and tried to steal my center, my educational center, from me. So that was very harsh, and it took a lot of strength for a lot of us. And coincidentally, as it often happens, and I want you to all keep that in mind, you know, we always think our loved one, our close ones are our heroes and the ones that are there for us in times of adversity. That's what we expect, because that's what we give them, basically. Those of us who are fundamentally made of compassion and rescuers, whether we're a lot of times in the medical fields, medical professions, you know, are the ones that gather those of us who are fundamentally turned towards helping others and being there for them at the expense of our own life and safety a lot of time. And so, naively, we expect those who are close to us sometimes to have the same response, and sometimes they don't. And in my life, I found that in times of greatest adversity, unavoidably, it's always those I least expect who stop everything when something catastrophic is happening, who stop everything and rush to the rescue and throw their lives to the side and push their priorities away so they can be there to rescue you. And it's sometimes deeply disappointing and devastating to see that those who you expected to be there to protect you are those who abandon and actually attack you sometimes with despise for not being always on top of the world, because apparently that's what some people expect from you. They expect you, because you are of service to others, to always be of service to others and never have any needs. That's not a logical expectation to have on anybody, especially those of us who serve because we've been through adversity, and none of us are devoid of collapsing. Sometimes we stumble, sometimes we fall. The thing is, though, that when we have made a life of surviving adversity, we become warriors, we become strong, we become more resilient than most people are known to be, and even if we collapse, because we will stumble, we will fall, we will collapse, and it's unrealistic to expect us to not be human and to just be statues, basically. But when we do collapse, we may collapse and we may stay on the ground, and I often say that, but we will eventually rise back. And in my case, time and again, I am shocked to see that those who come heroically to my assistance are always those who I least expected, In this case, the few who gathered around me to help me through this medical procedure were my next door neighbors, two absolutely incredible women who stopped everything in their lives to just be here for me and make sure I wasn't brought to the hospital in absolute serenity and love and compassion and heard and surrounded and protected, and brought me back and got me food, and so incredible, and checked on me to make sure that I was safe. And the Alliance, the Army of Light, again came to my rescue when this person attempted to steal my educational center from me. And I'm still here, and some Christmas miracles are happening. So I just wanted to tell all of you that yesterday I had some wonderful, in my recovery, in my PJs, in my flannel PJs, some wonderful visits from magnificent allies who convinced me that we needed to resume the Circle of Power retreats that you have. Hi, Leslie and John, Francesco and Lawrence. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. So you have been familiar with my Circle of Power. Oftentimes we call them Circle of Power Women Retreat, COPW. And the gatherers of the Yaya sisterhood, and then they became Circle of Power Retreat, to very simply because we don't limit it to simply women, of course. So we had some women retreat, and we have some mixed retreats, and some men asked me to do men retreats, and of course there would be me in there, but it would still be retreats of power. And so what we found was those Circle of Power retreats were so powerful and potent, because all of us gather here at the Manor, and you can see I have a beautiful fire going on let me see if I can give you a better view in the fireplace, in the mantle, and a fabulous Christmas tree that reaches from floor to ceiling, basically. And so when we do our Circle of Power retreats, we gather together in a circle of like-minded who are in need of inspiration and in need of support, because all of us are, nobody has life all figured out. We're all going through the journey. And what's important is not so much the end results, but being able to navigate through the journey, feeling loved and heard and protected, and feeling in a bonding connection with others, where you're able to share your truth and you're able to share what's going on with you without the fear of being attacked for not being a statue or for not being a robot or so. to speak. And so in those circle of powers, we're here together in the main room, and we gather together with our life forces, our life energies. And last year we did that. Actually, we started in 2017. We did them time and again, and the results were incredible, because when I work one-on-one with people, it's known, you can find that on the various review forum, that we're able to achieve rapid and lasting results in a very, very short amount of time. However, when we work in a group, we found that miracles happen so incredibly rapidly. We've had life being transformed in the hours or during the gathering, because sometimes in a small intimate circle, sometimes we're 10, sometimes we're 12, and we gather in a circle with a fire, with refreshments, here together. And then I teach everybody who gathers with me, with us in that moment, to work together as a circle on one person at a time. And so very often we found that everybody's issues were very similar, and we would move from one person to the next, and basically each of these persons in the circle receive the life force and energy and support and loving compassion and kindness and presence from the other 10, 12, 15 people present. And therefore, your ability to soar during that event is absolutely incredible. We've had relationships that were broken for decades, and family relationships that were repaired during a circle, where the person actually, while she was holding hands with all of us and gathering life force to heal that energy, to heal that broken relationship, that person was receiving at the same time messages from the estranged member of their family that they hadn't been in touch with for decades. Because the loving energy that we emanate in those circles is so powerful. Gathering more than 2 persons together, we are expanding exponentially our life force. You know, Jesus said, when 2 of you gather in my name, it shall be done for you in the name of my Father who is in heaven. And I may not quote that exactly right. As you know, I'm plurilingual. I speak many, many languages. And so sometimes my words get mixed up, but that's the thought. And so when we are together in those circle of powers, we literally every single time we facilitate miracles. And even for me, who's leading those circles, very often in the center, very often walking and talking as everybody's sitting together, all of us for weeks after, we're elevated in a powerful energy that is so pure and so vital and so transformative that we're floating on cloud 9. So I've received a lot of messages telling me, where are the circle of powers? As you know, I've been hit by life-threatening attacks in the last year. So I had to focus on surviving, and that put my practice in the literally second place, very sadly. But I am now in the safe zone, as I have a magnificent team of protectors around me, from legal gladiators who take no prisoners, and to my wonderful allies of the Army of Light, of the Alliance, who, whenever something happens, gather around me and never let me give up. And this is incredibly moving. I have no words to express how deeply moved I am by all of those who, in the last year and just recently in the last week and few weeks, have gathered. Daniel, you know, we should go diving one day, Daniel. Josie, thank you for joining us. You see, I'm out of the hospital. I wanted to thank all of you for all of your kind concerns. I was not able to write. I was suffering some pretty violent side effects. We have to do a series of surgeries to remove concerns in my body that are a little bit difficult and of course frightening for me. But I feel strong in the knowledge that there are so many of you out there who send me so many messages. I mean, it's really moving. And for my birthday as well, the hundreds of messages that came flooding in from all over the world. Thank you, each and every one of you. You make my life worth living. You give me the strength to continue on through adversity, because I too face it, and I continue to do so. And that continues to keep me humble and knowing that I'm human also, like all of you. And together, as I always say, we stand stronger. And I do need your support. I do need your presence. It is the flame that keeps me shining and keeps me strong through the hits, because some hits are very hard to, some disappointments and hurts are very hard to recover from, but what matters is to continue shining. And as you know, everybody, I will upload this live on my YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/GenvièveTV. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. You will see this red subscribe button on YouTube, and that helps me know that you are there and that you want me to continue my teachings live. It's important, and also it helps you join this community that we're forming, a community of thrivers who stay strong through the difficulties of life and support one another. And when you comment under the videos, you will see, I know, everybody's saying the same thing. I will write the biography of my life. It is worth writing. It's an action adventure. It's an action adventure that will very likely end up on Hollywood major production movie video. And I will write it. I just had to be safe first, because safety comes first, of course, as first responders. Number one, we have to ensure that our life is not threatened, and then we can be of service. So definitely, it's in the plans. Dennis Bernard, DB, from the Italian clans of New York City and New Jersey. Thank you for joining us on board. Thank you for your kind message. You know that Paul is always watching over us. I feel him in my heart every day, every moment of every day. So yes, please join me on youtube.com/GenvièveTV. Do subscribe. There is a red button there. It is free. You hit subscribe and you become part of the community. If you want to be notified, there's a bell button that you can click there. And what it does is it notifies you when I upload new videos. So I'm back to filming. You'll see a lot of me in the new year. We'll do live events. We're going to do retreats, seminars, and we're going to do events and educational training. And of course, continuing to work with each and every one of you that makes my life worth living, literally helping everybody. Sometimes people ask me, do you not feel drained? And no, absolutely not. When I help somebody survive, it fills me with light. It fills me with gratitude for being able to make a difference in everybody's life. Art, mi amigo de Mexico, mucho gusto. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. It's always a pleasure connecting with each and every one of you. Sorry for being MIA for a while. I had to tend to my own life situations and surgeries and recovery and making sure that I keep my center here to help each and every one of you. Joe, wow, Professor, the author here. Everybody's asking for my biography, so the author will return to writing. And once again, thank you all for joining me. Have a merry and beautiful Christmas, everybody. Be surrounded by those who love you, those who show you that they love you in times of need. These are important people that, you know, it's not all about the words, it's about the action, it's about the presence, it's about the true compassion that you see in somebody's eyes when they're really worried about you and they don't care about John. Oh my goodness, here's my fierce litigator, the one who saved my life and will continue to do so every step of the way. Thank you for joining me. And happy Christmas, everybody. I am so grateful to still be here. Merry Christmas, Leslie. So grateful to still be here with all of you, because you make my life worth living and you give me warmth and happiness. And when times are hard, you surround me with your love, and that helps me go, that keeps the little flame inside alive. So thank you all. Merry Christmas from the beautiful Pacific Northwest of the United States, wherever you are in the world. Joyeux Noël à tous de l'autre côté du bleu. Feliz Navidades. Buon Natale in Italia to all my friends all over the world. I love you all. Have a beautiful end of year, and see you soon on youtube.com/GenvièveTV. Just to close, all of you know I'm a forensic and clinical board certified hypnotherapy instructor. I'm an emergency medicine first responder with the Wilderness Medicine Institute. And my life mission is to help all of you stay strong through adversity, become stronger together, and find tools and modalities to recover your truth and continue your path in authenticity to the life that you truly deserve to have. Thank you, everybody. Happy Christmas. Be well, be merry, and see you again very, very soon. Ciao, ciao.